Hi there, everybody. Happy Sunday to you. Hope you guys are doing well. It is now the month of December around here. It's region weather meteorologist Matt Wintz. Good to be with you here tonight. Hope you guys had a nice Thanksgiving. A lot of travel going on. Our house as well. Just kind of packed the bags and got into town here after a wonderful little getaway for Thanksgiving with the family. So that was certainly nice. Hope you guys had a nice one as well. And it's cold outside. I just want to say, it is just cold outside. We've been so spoiled last, 3.5 months or so, and now we're in the cold air, and it just feels colder than it normally would. So I've been complaining already, and I just asked my wife. I said, "Why do we live here? Why don't we just move to Florida?" But they have their own problems. I get it. So that's that. So hope you guys are doing well as we're wrapping up a weekend. A little bit later of a broadcast here tonight. I am off work tomorrow, which is nice on the back end of a vacation. We certainly need it as we've got a lot of stuff to unpack, all that, but you don't need to know about that. But in terms of the forecasts, we've got snow across the Great Lakes. My goodness, do we have snow across the Great Lakes? We just don't have any here in Northwest Indiana. It's all lake effect. So I had mentioned in the last broadcast, if you're traveling out towards South Bend, in the southwest lower Michigan, even over into the Ohio to Buffalo corridor, that's where the snow would be. And that's where it continues to be as this lake effect pattern continues. There's no system snow that's been moving through. That's typically how we get our snow, or with a northerly wind or northwest wind and enough moisture on the backside. But we're just not seeing that right now. So we're going to dive into the forecast. We're going to look into the month of December. We've got a lot coming at us over the next 2 weeks. We're leading up to Christmas, right? We can't quite get there with the modeling yet, but we can kind of see what the pattern's going to do. So we'll let you know all that good stuff here coming up in the forecast. All right. Let's say hi to our early birds. Honor Coleman with us on our YouTube channel. Thanksgiving was great for us. I appreciate that, Honor. I hope yours is good as well. In terms of the forecast, Honor says that you might have been checking the HRRR model, looking good for southwest lower Michigan and northern Indiana. That's exactly what we're going to talk about, Honor. We do have some lake effect snow on the way, not for everyone. And overall, I don't think this is going to be too big of a deal, but it is some lake effect snow a little bit closer to home. So we'll talk about that. Jeff says, where's the snow? Jeff, if you head on over to Northeast Ohio up towards Erie, PA, we're talking 30 to 40 inches fell over the course of the last few days, with another foot to 20 inches on the way. The Buffalo football game, snowy. It's just unbelievable how much snow's falling off the Great Lakes right now. Just not here in the region. That's it. Hi, Ethan. Ethan's with us tonight. Danielle, thank you very much. We had a wonderful Thanksgiving. Susan's with us on our YouTube channel. Ethan's looking for a winter storm. Well, we'll see, Ethan, for sure. And Sean, I missed you too. We were out traveling on Wednesday with everyone else, so we didn't have a broadcast plan, so you didn't miss anything. So we'll go from there. All right, and Rich, hello to you. Maxwell's with us as well. Maxwell, thanks for joining us, and Angel's with us. All right, let me briefly get through our sponsors. They keep the show for free. They're just wonderful. FBI Buildings will start at the top. They do pole barn construction. So if you're looking for a commercial business that you have or residential pole barn, if you need one constructed, these things look amazing, and they look like just amazing houses and structures that they do. And they've done over 20,000 Midwest. FBIbuildings.com, the place to go. They also renovate existing pole barns. If you have one on your property or business property that needs address, they'll fix it. All right, Meals on Wheels has a wonderful event coming up. Annual tradition. This is coming up on Thursday. Just want you guys to know about this. It's called Light the Night, if you haven't heard of it. It's a good fundraiser for them. They could really use your support. A gift to Meals on Wheels goes a long way to making sure our seniors in Northwest Indiana are taken care of in terms of wellness checks and meals. And they literally are saving lives by bringing happiness to people who need meals and need those wellness checks. So Light the Night event's coming up. It's this Thursday, 5:30 to 7 o'clock. All right. Tree lighting ceremony. They have a holiday party. They'll have some coffee, some hot cocoa, some great little snacks on going there. But you need to RSVP by tomorrow if you can. And write down this email for me. It's Melissa. That's easy, right? At MOWNWI. That's Meals on Wheels, Northwest Indiana. So Melissa at MOWNWI.org. All right. And just RSVP there. So you can show up, have a good time, and give a little gift if you could to Meals on Wheels. That's coming up this Thursday. You need to RSVP by tomorrow. All right. They do great work in our community. PSA, those are public service adjusters. Guys, if you have an insurance claim, don't go to your insurance company first. Go to PSA. That's publicserviceadjusting.com. They're all local licensed insured adjusters here in Northwest Indiana. They'll take your claim. They'll come out, take pictures of it, analyze it. They'll send it all to your insurance company, so you don't have to do anything. and then they will be the communication back and forth between your insurance company. You don't even have to deal with your insurance company, all right? They're raising rates like crazy and not giving you very much back. PSA fixes all that. They'll give you what you deserve for what you need. So if you have an insurance claim, publicserviceadjusting.com, tigerplumbing.net, the place to go. If you need a plumber, they are just I feel like they're family, Jeff and team there. They get 5-star reviews across the board. Everyone that's used them with Region Weather loves them. Now's the time of year as the pipes start to get colder with the cold air outside that we can start talking leaks and pipes and cracks and burst pipes and stuff like that. We don't want to mess with that. If you need your house analyzed in terms of the plumbing system, or if you just need a new spigot or a new pipe here and there or a new faucet put in, they do it all. tigerplumbing.net. Minogue.life, that's our expert on life insurance, Medicare and Medicaid. Michael Minogue is a wonderful guy. He's been doing this for a long time for Northwest Indiana residents. And a lot of people have coverage, but they are unaware of what coverage they have in terms of life insurance or Medicare, Medicaid. He's happy to review that with you just to help you understand what you have. There's probably a lot of benefits that you are not taking advantage of that you could be. So if you have questions about your current coverage, or if you picked a plan by phone or by mail or online, a lot of people aren't clear as to what those benefits are. He'd be happy to review. Minogue.life is the website. Kate Cusack for Ruoff Mortgage. She wants to be your local lender for all your mortgage needs. Rates coming down a little bit, but not enough. I get it, but it might be lower than where you were. So if you're looking to refinance, you can certainly do that through Kate. Or if you're looking for your new home, you can do that as well. First home, starter home, or dream home. She does it all. She'll guide you and support you every step of the way. Kate Cusack, Home Loan Girl on Facebook. Again, Kate Cusack, Home Loan Girl. You can call and text her also, 219-775-6645. Finally, last but not least, Grieger's Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Valparaiso. They've been serving the Northwest Indiana area for decades, right on US 30 there. They've got brand new Jeeps with 4-wheel drive. I know you don't need it locally yet, but if you're heading up into the snow belt, you're certainly going to need it. Grieger's Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Valparaiso. All right, let's dive into this forecast pattern, shall we? This is a cold, cold look to the map. You get the big ridge out west. You get the big trough out east. You can see how everything's coming at us from Canada. And if you recognize this from last winter, we pointed this out last winter, all this blue and purple showing up here. The map we're looking at, this is an infrared satellite, all right? And what it does is it detects cold cloud tops, all right? So that way you can see it all the time. You know, you don't have to rely on the sun being up like a visible satellite. And these aren't cold cloud tops up here. This is just cold air. So the air is so cold in the northern tier of the country and in areas of Canada that it's detecting it and thinking it's a cloud top, and it's not, all right? The things that are moving are, but it just goes to show you that we've got very cold air across southern Canada, and some of that has gotten into our region as well with our highs in the 20s. In terms of lake effect snow, the reason why we're not getting a lot here locally is because we need moisture to do that, all right? Here's our low pressure producing most of the moisture source, which is up near Nova Scotia, up near the Hudson Bay. This is where the moisture is, and so that's why we're getting good moisture into Lake Erie and Ontario, where the snow's been going real heavy, but we're not getting too much here on the western side of all that. There are a few systems that are going to come in and change that, the first of which is this little area of moisture here, sliding in from the northwest. That will bring a little added support, and that will bring us some of our lake effect snow we're expecting later tomorrow in areas of LaPorte County, then out towards South Bend. We'll talk about that in a second, but there's just not a lot of moisture right now left with a low pressure. If this low pressure were a lot closer, we'd be talking lake effect snow in Porter, probably Lake, and then LaPorte counties as well. All right. So in terms of cold air, I'm just going to zip through this next 15 days. Just keep your eye on this Arctic air. I mean, this is insanely cold air, even for this time of year, as you get up into southern Canada. Just watch, see how we kind of dance with the first hit of it. It reloads into southern Canada later this week. We get a good shot of cold air midweek, and then it kind of sits up in northern Great Lakes, and then it comes down again as we go into the latter half of next week, and then you can see it just hanging out. I mean, bitterly cold air. This is sub-zero air. These are temperatures at minus 20, minus 30, and it just hangs out. There's no big warm-up coming our way. This cold air is just waiting to dump in the U.S., so I mean, it's a matter of time, folks, before we get this real frigid stuff into the U.S. We get a couple little appendages of it over the next week and a half or so. Nothing huge, but boy, it's just sitting there. You know, if it wasn't sitting here like last couple winters, it's been like in Siberia and areas of Alaska, you know, and we know that if it is on its way, it'd be like a week and a half. This is just kind of waiting. All right. And Does it come in at Christmas? Too soon to tell, but it's certainly going to be close by. So there's that. Jet stream pattern as we go through time. What we look for if you want warm air is the ridge. Notice how that ridge kind of stays out towards the west, and we continue to get these bouts of cold air, all carried by Alberta clippers or low pressure systems off the Pacific. Some indication is there that maybe the pattern flips a little bit. You can see the GFS kind of flips things and brings a trough into the west, which would bring warmer air in here mid-December. I am kind of leaning that solution, maybe not so crazy about this, but it does look like we do moderate a bit, where we may have some more 40s in the forecast for highs as we get into that middle chunk of December. But again, who knows what's going to happen later this month? We have some indication it's going to turn colder again, but nothing guaranteed. All right, so that's kind of long range. Here are your temperatures. This is kind of what we do with cold air next few days. We have a brief warm up out ahead of a powerful clipper system on Wednesday. That drives our temperatures way down with another shot of that Arctic air on Thursday, likely our coldest air of the season so far. Look at the lows down near 10 on Thursday, 22 for a high. And then we moderate, and then there's another little moderation out ahead of another cold hit. And then you can see we're kind of ho-humming around the 40s and 30s as we get into the December 14th, 15th time frame. All right, let's talk snow, though. Okay, here's how much snow has fallen over the last 72 hours. Notice we don't have anything here in the region. A few flurries and snow showers have brought a light coating out towards the South Bend area, northeastern areas of LaPorte County. You get up into southwest lower Michigan, anywhere from 6 to 10 inches of snow has fallen. Not big for them. Again, there's not a lot of moisture this far west with the system. You get further to the north, and you can see how we've got bigger totals. I mean, we're up over 20, even 30 inches up in the UP and even northern part of lower Michigan. And then you get out towards northeast Ohio to Erie to Buffalo, and we're talking 40-plus inches of snow have fallen. Again, we would have been capable of that had that moisture been closer to us, but it hasn't been. All right. So that's where the snow has been. Let's talk this lake effect setup that's coming in, because we do have some moisture coming in that will be able to support some more lake effect snow here, a better chance of it. All right. So here we go. Right now, we do have very light snow falling out areas of eastern LaPorte County and the southwest lower Michigan. It's like flurry actions, flurries and light snow showers. That's it. That's expected to ramp up a little bit more as we get kind of a little pull of this system that slides by down towards the south. Okay, this is tomorrow afternoon. I do see some light snow showers making their way into LaPorte County, all lake effect. All right, this little clipper system comes by with a little light coating of snow to areas of Illinois, southern Indiana. We're not going to get hit by the clipper, but what this will do is it kind of redirects the winds, and instead of out of the west-northwest, it'll change them more northerly. All right, and as that wind turns more northerly, and we get a little bit more moisture in play, it'll start to develop some heavier snow bands out over Lake Michigan. All right. This is now into tomorrow night time frame. Okay. So if you have travel plans, maybe you're heading out on business, or maybe you're just traveling out towards South Bend or on I-94, we're going to encounter some snowier weather tomorrow night into Tuesday morning. This isn't going to be a blockbuster snow event. We can certainly handle a foot, 2 feet out in those areas. And that's when we start to say, hey, this is a decent storm for the snow belt. But in terms of this storm system, this will be impactful if you do have travel plans, because I do expect some heavier bursts of snow. This particular model is showing that late tomorrow evening, that's when we get pretty good squalls that develop and come into areas of LaPorte County, down into White County, out towards South Bend, and even as far west as Porter County. So we may get some snowflakes into Valparaiso, into Chesterton. I'm not expecting a lot of snow out of this, but we could certainly see some flakes flying tomorrow night. And that would continue into early Tuesday before the winds start to veer and dry air moves back in. And that would push any snow out towards the east. All right. So later tomorrow into tomorrow night, we may have some light snow to watch in areas of Porter County, and then LaPorte County. We could certainly get some heavier bursts of snow. And those would continue as you get into Berrien County and then out east towards South Bend. Okay. So some snow to contend with, and that pushes on out. Here's that vigorous clipper system I talked about. How much snow are we talking about? Well, let's get into it. We'll kind of show you the totals here. I like this model best. You can see as we go over the next 24 to 48 hours, we're talking some areas could exceed 4 inches of snow. Those are mainly going to be in eastern areas of LaPorte County. You notice in Porter County here, maybe a half an inch at best. And then as you get up into LaPorte, maybe an inch. Again, it's mainly as you get towards the Westville area, out towards South Bend. Anywhere from 2 to 4, maybe 5 or 6 inches if the snow bursts go right out there. And then southwest lower Michigan, maybe 4 to 7 inches of snow, depending on how those bands continue to kind of evolve and develop. All right. Not a huge lake effect snow event, but we are going to get kind of a quick hit of lake snow here over the next 48 hours. Okay. So we'll close the books on that. Let's talk about long-term any snow events around here. We're going to take you through the Euro, and I want to go big picture. All right, here's our Clipper system sliding by. There's our lake snow that kicks in behind it on Tuesday. As we go into Wednesday, we'll start to moderate out ahead of this beast. This is a big storm system. We're going to call it a Clipper, but it's really off the Pacific. But there's a lot of wind with this, all right? And not just wind, there's some real cold air behind this as well. All right, so as we go into the daytime Wednesday, not expecting a lot of snow to develop off of this initially, but as we go into Wednesday night and Thursday morning, I do expect some rain, perhaps initially, as we're going to be up near 40 on Wednesday. But once that cold air hits, we're going to have rain changing over to snow showers. And I could see kind of a snowy scene on Thursday morning for that commute with a driving wind. We're talking gusts over 40 at times with really cold air coming in. I mean, this is going to be an Arctic. I usually don't use the term blast very often. This is going to be a blast of Arctic air coming later this week. And temperatures on Thursday, as we mentioned, are going to probably struggle to get above 21, 22 degrees with the driving wind. This will bring lake effect snow like crazy over the Great Lakes. Heavy at times, lots of wind-driven snow. Could have near blizzard conditions in spots where those lake effect snow bands set up. In terms of us here in the region, LaPorte County, we've got to watch this one. Porter County, you're going to be on the fringe of it. We could see some snow in the northeastern half of the county. But again, lake effect kicks in as we go into Thursday morning and throughout the day Thursday with cold air. All right. That's the next really impactful weather that I see here for us locally. If we're not getting the snow from lake effect reasons, it's going to be just really cold and windy. We'll have wind chills in the single digits, probably to near zero at times. So some really cold air. That system gets out of here pretty quickly, though. By Friday, we've got any lingering snow showers heading out. Big high pressure is going to come in, and we'll still be on the cold side, but we won't be quite as cold. And then all indication is as we get into next weekend, perhaps another quick moving Clipper system with some light snow sliding through. And then we get this next system, which may be kind of that pattern change as we go into mid-December with a brief warm up followed by some more cold air, but it doesn't look to be too long lasting after that. But you can see, I mean, the cold hits keep coming as we go into the middle of the month with occasional warm ups, which we haven't really seen over the last couple of days. All right, so in terms of snowfall here, here's near term. This is what the HRRR is saying. The HRRR driving anywhere from 6 to 12 inches across areas of southwest lower Michigan as you up towards St. Joe. But then you get out towards the east and we're dealing with, again, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 inches of snow, especially east of our area. But LaPorte County, I think we'll get into it at least a little bit. All right, let's take snow beyond that. Let's go over the next 10, 15 days or so. And you can see we're dealing with a lot of snow across the Great Lakes, not necessarily for us here in the region, though. There's no big systems or snow storms that look to come through over the next 15 days. It's just mainly going to be lake effect, and it's going to be these occasional Clipper systems that drive through, all right? So snow lovers have to go either east or up into areas of Michigan, up to the northeast, all right? Okay, in terms of that, that's your snowfall, and then I want to show you snowpack. So this is how much snow is going to be on the ground. And we're going to take it all the way through December 16th. All right. This is when we look for a white Christmas. And as of right now, the Euro has December 16th as being fairly snow-free on the ground, which I would agree with outside of as you get up into the snow belt. But there will be a couple systems that look to bring a little rain in here. So if we are going to get snow, and again, this is my last thing. So if you guys have questions, go ahead and ask those. If we are going to get snow for Christmas, it's going to have to come after the 16th. All right. It's going to have to be some kind of system bringing that pattern change. But the good news is that cold air, it is really cold and it's lingering just off towards the north. This season so far, we're not in winter yet, but this late fall kind of winter season, as we'll call it, it's behaving as expected. I mean, we've got cold air that's lasting versus a hit of cold like we've had the last 3 winters with El Nino winters. And then a big warm up. So that's not what we're dealing with right now. We're dealing with hits of cold that are lasting. So if we can get some snow on the ground, it does look like it may stick around for a while this winter versus what we've been dealing with recently. Okay, last couple winters. All right, happy to answer your questions for you. Then we'll get you on your way. Again, guys, I appreciate you spending time with me here this evening chatting about weather. this is your time to shine. All right. This show is for you guys. This is for me, a meteorologist, to answer your questions. So please, if there's something you've got on your mind, go ahead and ask. Don't be shy. Get it in the chat. There are no dumb questions. Trust me, there are no dumb questions. And my favorite questions actually come from when I do school visits to kindergartners and preschoolers, first and second grade. Those are usually the prime ages when you get really good questions. And some of you may think they're dumb, but I think they're all awesome. I mean, they ask the coolest questions. So anything you possibly need. All right. First and foremost, want to say happy birthday to Katie. Katie, happy birthday today. That's awesome. Boy, you get Thanksgiving and then you get your birthday right after that. Just great. Jeff says my garage is an extra refrigerator. That's awesome. Oh, Pappy, great question. Asking, do you think it's going to be a good winter this year with lots of snowfall? Pappy, I think so. I really do. And we've talked about this previous broadcast, but last couple winters have been, we've just been locked into this El Nino pattern, which tends to bring the subtropical jet or that warm Gulf of Mexico moisture north, and it prevents the cold air from getting in here. We finally say goodbye to El Nino, and we're dealing with a weak La Nina pattern right now. It doesn't mean we get a lot of snow. And again, there are a lot of other things outside of El Nino and La Nina, but so far so good. I mean, we're getting that ridge out west. We're getting the cold air hits that are least lasting. And that's step one. If you're going to have snow, you need cold air. And we haven't had that last few winters, at least nothing that's lasted. And so far that cold air looks pretty common and it looks prevalent across the eastern U.S. So I do think eventually we're going to tap into that Gulf of Mexico and get a couple snowstorms through here for sure. A lot of happy birthdays coming in for you. All right. Very good, Katie. Let me see. Yeah, JP, I think so. Yeah, I mean, we'll see. It's going to be really tough to get it in to the Valpo area. I do think we'll have flakes flying. And the other thing about kind of this setup, I'm going to go back to kind of what we're looking at here in terms of where's the one I want to show? This is the one right here. All right. In terms of the snowfall, the lakes are still running above average. So a lot of these computer models are thinking that the lakes are 3-4 degrees colder, colder, and they're warmer. So that produces more lake effect snow. So they may be underdoing some of this. You know, when we get a cold hit of air, we may have more snow showers on radar than what the models are kind of depicting. And that's certainly possible. So again, things could get kind of slick in the Valpo area as we get into that time frame. All right. Let's see, Jill, I just now see your comment. My college student heading back to Pittsburgh area tomorrow. If he leaves Northwest Indiana by 9, will he miss the lake effect snow on the toll road? Jill, should. Yeah. The lake effect snow's going right now. It's very, very light. It does look to pick up in intensity tomorrow after the morning. All right. So we're talking midday, afternoon is when I expect it to pick up. So I think, your college student's going to hit a little bit of snow. I don't think it'll be too problematic, though, if they leave early. Okay, so great question on that for sure. Yeah, and we all got spoiled with it. It's unbelievable how spoiled we've been. Tyler, you're welcome, buddy. I appreciate you. I appreciate all your support. Anything you need, buddy, I'm here for you. All right, no problem, Tim John. Sorry I missed the first part. How does it look for Elkhart, South Bend area this week? I drive out that way for work every day. Absolutely, we got you covered, Tim. So in terms of what it looks like out there, we're going to get some light lake effect to develop overnight into tomorrow. And then tomorrow midday in the afternoon, I'm expecting some heavier, kind of more organized lake effect to develop. It's not going to be earth shattering. I mean, we're not going to see huge totals out of this, but we could get some 2, 3, 4, I can count, 5, 6 inch totals out towards South Bend by tomorrow night. All right. Into early Tuesday morning. You're kind of seeing it here. See how it kind of moves in as we get into tomorrow night and Tuesday. So tomorrow your drive should be okay. Coming home might be a little bit different, might be a little bit difficult out there. Again, nothing earth shattering, but if INDOT is not treating those surfaces, they're going to get slick. All right. If they are, they should be okay. And then later this week, we're going to have to watch for a storm system to come in. It's this one right here. Do I still have it on here? I think I do. Yeah. This one right here. Let me zoom in for you. This is going to be the thing that kind of impacts all of us this week. Pretty powerful clipper comes in, may have a little rain initially. This is Wednesday night before it quickly changes over to snow. I could see snow showers around. We're not going to get a lot of snow from this, but out in areas like South Bend, lake effect zones in LaPorte County, we could get a healthy couple inches from this with a lot of wind around. All right. And that becomes problematic for those areas. So that happens Thursday into Thursday night. It'll be winding down. Okay. And it's going to get real bone chilling cold behind that. All right. Wendy, great PSA. If you're cold, your animals are cold. Bring them inside. Of course, animals need to go outside to go to the bathroom, but short periods of time. Absolutely. Take care of our fur babies out there as well. Great advice, Wendy, with this cold. And we usually hit on this stuff when there's Arctic air, but I mean, this is cold enough. 20s with wind chills in the teens. I mean, if you're cold, you're right, Wendy. We need to take care of that. Tim, you're welcome. Absolutely. All right. Well, I think that's it in terms of questions. Oh, Maxwell. Oh, I love your stats, Maxwell. You're absolutely right. Maxwell brings good news. Don't ask questions. This is so true, though. This Friday is the earliest sunset, and next Saturday is the solstice. So I know it doesn't make sense, but our earliest sunset of the year is coming up later this week. And then our sunsets will slowly, and I mean really slowly, the first couple seconds a day, our sunsets will start to get later. All right. The sunrises continue to get later in the morning, all the way through early January. All right. Things don't balance so that the first day of winter, the solstice, it doesn't balance so that once we hit the solstice, our sunsets start getting later and our sunrises start getting earlier. That's not how it works. Everything's kind of shifted, but sunsets in particular will start to get later this week into next weekend. So great stat, Maxwell. I appreciate that. All right, Maxwell, I did. Yes, it's just insane. What Lake Erie's been doing. Yeah, that's right in the heart of our viewing area. And it's been insane for sure. And then you get outside of that and you get outside of the 3 feet of snow that they've got in spots and there's nothing on the ground and it's been clear blue sky. It's just crazy. Sean asked a good question on our YouTube channel. Any long-term measurable snow? I have a 2-stage snow blower I'm trying to sell. Very good, Sean. In terms of long-term snow, I don't see anything in terms of systems through mid-December. It's all lake effect from here. So we'll see. All right. Honor asks, what's the Canadian model show for Clipper system? Nothing too crazy, Honor. It does show a little bit better organized snow, at least coming in initially. You can see right here as that system comes in. This is your Clipper. There's just not a lot of moisture with it, fortunately or unfortunately, depending on what you have to do. But this is what the Canadian shows, maybe 1/2 inch to 1 inch. Models can tend to underdo Clipper system snow as well. So I'd probably go, I'd probably say 1/2 inch to 1.5 inches out of this in these areas. Again, that's for central Illinois and downstate. It shouldn't be too impactful, though. I've seen some sources on social media that are really blowing up this Clipper system. And then they're kind of stepping back a little bit. They're like, accumulating snow downstate and all over Illinois. And then they're like, well, maybe it's not so much. Maybe we just don't hype it until we know the facts. All right. And the facts aren't in yet, but this isn't going to be a huge deal for them. Okay. It's not. The one later this week is certainly going to be. All right. So there's that. Yep, for sure. Honor. Thank you for that. That's good to know. I'm glad you are serving the community in that way. I'm telling you, he is a snowplow for the city. And I'll tell you, the snowplow folks, you guys work such long hours away from your family. I don't think you get enough credit. You're kind of like meteorologists where people say some not nice things to you if things don't go right. Right. So I feel it. I totally feel it. But I certainly appreciate you and all the folks you work with and all you do. All right. All right, guys, we're going to let you go tonight. Thanks for joining us here. We'll be back on the radio side of things, X-Rock 103.9, Indiana 105, and Z107.1. We've got forecasts all day long from Region Weather. We've got something new in the works that I should be able to announce next week, which is great. We've been working this out for a long time, and we finally have something cool to announce to you next week. So join us for that. And also regionweather.com. That's where you can find your daily updates. You can sign up for daily emails, one a day, or right to your inbox in the morning, hand typed, little picture, hand drawn. Well, not really by computer, but there's that. All right. You guys have a wonderful night. Hope you had a good Thanksgiving. We've got a lot more weather to track this month, so stay tuned.